Man, I'd be lying to you if I said that this one doesn't cut deep. Let's talk about it.
You don't want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel. And in this huddle, man, we're going to talk about the 35-30 loss that Carolina just suffered at the hands of NC State. And before I get into the intricate parts or the details of this football game, man, I got to pay my respects to a Tar Heel legend, man. Mack Brown finishes his North Carolina career with a 113, 79, and 1 record at the University of North Carolina. 288, 155, and 1 overall between North Carolina, Texas, and Tulane University and App State as well, excuse me. But phenomenal career, absolute statesman for the university. Just a class act. And, I cannot say enough about how excited I was when Mack Brown came back to 2019 and resurrected this football program. And like I've said before, I'm not going to belabor this because I've said this in other videos. In 2019, Mack had something going. He was getting a ton of recruits. He was getting kids in North Carolina to stay at UNC. And NIL, COVID, all these different variables hit, and it completely changed the landscape of college football. And what he brought to the table and did so well at, as far as recruiting and things of that nature, it just kind of got flipped on its head. And, Mack was not able to necessarily rebound. We see that with how recruiting has gone over the last couple of seasons. It's kind of dissipated off, and nothing worse than obviously what we're seeing right now, even before Carolina said that Mack would not return in 2025. I think there was a small class, 10 recruits, ranked like number 78th in the country. And then obviously you have like the results of this football game, 35-30 NC State, and North Carolina has now dropped 4 in a row, 8 out of 11. And Mack finishes his record against Carolina's bitter rival 2-4. So I want to give a shout out to the 60 plus that were in there, to watch that stinking football game. It was a great football game as far as the fans concerned. If you were an outsider and not a Tar Heel fan, it was a great football game to watch. And unlike last year, I do feel like Carolina showed up and they fought. And so I'm not going to say anything about that. What I will say is that Carolina once again loses to either a backup quarterback, which CJ Bailey technically is a backup quarterback, a third string quarterback. It just seems like what they do is lose to guys who did not start the season as the quarterback. Now, obviously, McCall got hurt. He's medically retired from football. CJ Bailey is a freshman. Kid's got a lot of potential. He finished his game 14 for 20, 242 yards with a touchdown and a pick. And he also finished with 54 yards rushing on 14 attempts for 3.9 yards per carry. But once again, Carolina allowed him to open up in the second half. Great job defensively in the first half. The first half score was 7-6. 7-6 NC State. Carolina left about 4 points on the board with Noah Burnett missing an extra point and missing a stinking field goal from about 44 yards out, pushed it wide right. So theoretically, Carolina could have been up 10-7 at the half, but they go down into the break 7-6, and then the second half was a completely different football game. NC State outscored Carolina 28-24 in the second half to win 35-30. Now, a lot of us were talking about it. 2 minutes left out of the 2-minute break. Carolina goes to a shovel pass. Great play call, but O'Marion Hampton just being just too stinking good, scores too quickly, gives the ball back to NC State with about $1.50 to play, and State's end up getting a couple of gash plays. Man, the defense could not stop them. in the second half. Really disappointed in the defense. It's not that they didn't come to play. It's just that there seemed to be some communication issues, and way too often NC State found guys that were wide open, making CJ Bailey just like giving him gimme passes, man. Not having to fit the ball in, nothing like that. Just giving them gimme passes. And NC State almost put up probably 375 yards of total offense in the second half. Man, just gashed the Tar Heel defense. They could not stop them. UNC gave up 22 points in the second half, man. And once again, this has been the issue with Carolina football. They fall off, bro. They just don't finish, man. And it's one of the reasons why, Mack Brown leaving, as great as he's been, as great of an ambassador and man as he's been for the University of North Carolina, as far as football is concerned, it's just unacceptable, man. It's just unacceptable. NC State finished with 462 yards of total offense average after having, I think, 85, 90 in the first half. They finished with 462. Carolina finishes with 468, 275 passing, 193 rushing. But the big thing right there is NC State, 220 yards on the ground, bro. And they split it up between about four guys: Jordan Waters, Kendrick Raphael, CJ Bailey, and Hollywood Smothers, who had 2 rushing touchdowns, man, and averaged 6.4 yards per carry. And Carolina's defense just could not hold the line at the end of the game, bro. Very disappointing, man. Very disappointing. NC State even had the ball for 10 more minutes than UNC did. And there's nothing more to say than 4 years in a row. 4 years in a row, NC State has beaten the Tar Heels. 2 of those years has been in Kenan Stadium. And even more so than that, I feel like Carolina had every reason in the world to win this football game, and they should have. And, Dave Doran, the simple fact of the matter is he's done more with less. He's done more with less. And if I'm being completely honest with you, Mack Brown has done less with more. And that's one of the reasons he had to go. I love Mack. I'm not trying to dog him on his way out. But it is just a simple fact of the matter. And the truth has to be out there. And, it's sad that this is how we had to end things. It really is, man. It really is. It's sad that we had to end things this way. It's sad that Carolina's defense could not hold the stinking line so that we could send Mack out on his stinking shield the way that he should have been sent out. But here we are. Here we are. So Carolina can't keep NC State from going bowling. They're both 6-6. NC State's got bragging rights for another stinking year. They've won 4 straight. And, you just can't have that at Carolina and remain the football coach, man. You really can't. You can't have 3 in a row to inferior NC State teams. You can't have 4 in a row to inferior NC State teams, man. And that's what we got. That's what we stinking got, man. So, I mean, I'm drained. I'm drained. But the one thing that I do want to I want to leave here on the table for all of Tar Heel Nation. This sucks, bro. And I want it to burn. I want it to burn, and I want us to stinking feel it. And you know what? When Wolfie comes around and he's excited because he finally got to the 40-win mark and he's still 28 games behind us, you know what? Let him stinking have his fun. Let him stinking have his fun. Because when we get the next guy in, I guarantee you that one of the first things that's brought up is the importance of this game. Mack didn't take this game serious, it didn't seem like. Or at least he didn't put the amount of emphasis on it that it needs, like unfortunately that clown over there in West Raleigh does. And, this is one of the reasons why he's got to go. At UNC, this doesn't happen against NC State and everything is okay. It's just, it's unacceptable, man. It's unacceptable. And especially, once again to, backup quarterbacks and teams with less talent top to bottom than you have. I mean, Carolina's a senior-laden team. a senior laden team with 4 and 5-star guys, man. And what's crazy, I'm just going to call it out there, man. Because like I said, I think it's important. It's important for it to burn. And I'm going to beat all the stinking Wolfies to the punch. Carolina seniors right here, not one time did they beat NC State. That's crazy. And that'll be with them for the rest of their life. And for the juniors and the sophomores and the freshmen that are coming up, I want you to see that. And I want you to feel that. And I want you to understand how unacceptable it is. It's unacceptable. That's unacceptable, bro. Little bro comes into Chapel Hill and beats us for the 4th consecutive time, 8 out of 11. And that's one thing that Mack was unable to do. He was unable to hold the line against NC State. And that's why the next coaching hire, it needs to be just really pounded into his head, the importance of this football game. So there's a lot coming up, man. There's a lot coming up. Carolina's in the midst of a coach search because obviously Mack Brown's last day is tomorrow. I'm going to be probably putting out a little video of my personal wish list off of who I'd like to see. I don't know how realistic these options are, but who your boy would like to see in Carolina blue. And, unfortunately, we got 365 days, before we get another chance of ending this debacle that we've seen against NC State for the past 4 years, man. I'm super disappointed. I'm heartbroken. I really am. And I wish that things were different. I wish that things were different for Mack. I wanted him to be successful here. I wish things were different for these seniors. I wish things were different for, Tar Heel Nation and myself, if I'm being completely honest with you, man. Because, NC State's got a lot to brag about. They got a lot to brag about. And you know what? That should be fire under the asses of everybody in Carolina blue. I mean, there's really nothing else to say, man. There's really nothing else to say. Real quick before I get out of here, man, prayers to Kamen Rucker. I don't know the extent of his injury, but he was the recipient of an extremely dirty play that hopefully does not put his ability to put on for the NFL here soon. Hopefully it doesn't ruin his options or his opportunities to do that. It was disgusting. It was despicable. And I hope that kid feels good about himself for being a 300-pound dude and diving at the shins of a defensive end, bro. That's soft. It's disgusting. And I was really ashamed to see Kamen have to limp off the field for it. They weren't even in the play. And I'm not going to end it with that. I just wanted to call that out because I'm a big Kamen Rucker fan. He's been the heart and soul of this Carolina defense. And, it's unfortunate that, a couple plays into the game, he's got to stink and be helped off the field. Can't put any pressure on his stinking left leg because of some knucklehead in red, being a you-know-what. I'm not going to say it because I don't want YouTube to give me a strike or anything like that. But just ridiculous, man. Taking our best defensive player out of the game early like that on something that was just away from the play. Kind of pissed me off a little bit, man. But you know what? I don't think that was the difference in this football game. NC State fought. Carolina fought. They had the ball at the end. I didn't have any hope that Carolina was really going to be able to stop them, like legitimately. And at the same time, if Carolina had the football, I didn't have any hope that NC State was going to be able to stop Carolina. This came down to really who had the ball last with an ample amount of opportunity to get down the field. And that just happened to be the Wolfpack. And they came out with the W. So, Tar Heel Nation, man, let it burn. That's what it's supposed to do when we lose to stinking our rivals, man. And for all the Tar Heels that are still on the roster that are thinking about coming back, hey, listen, come back, man. Be in Carolina blue. Put on for the university, man. It's an excellent opportunity for you guys to kind of carve out a stinking roster spot or a starting lineup spot. Don't everybody go and hit the portal. We still have a bowl game to play. Still have an opportunity to finish the season above 500. That should be what we focus on as a football team and we need to let the admin focus on getting the right guy as the head coach for the University of North Carolina. So finish it with this, man. It's sad to see the Mack Brown era end like this. It's sad to see Carolina lose 4 in a row to NC State. And the only thing we can do, man, is put our stinking heads down, go to work, get those extra practices in, take this bowl game serious, and finish the season above 500, man. That should be the next step. So let it burn, feel it, get over it, and let it stink and fuel the fire that you're going to need for this game next year. And that's about all I got for it, Tar Heel Nation. That's about all I got for it, man. So, hey, Tar Heels, Wolfies, let me know what you think about this daggone video down in the comment section. Tell me what you think about this football game down in the comment section. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And no matter what, bro, win, lose, or draw, it's still a great day to be a Tar Heel. I'll end it with this. I'd rather have 68 wins than 40. Go Heels.